Hi guys, Skinny Pigs 1 here. So today's video I'm going to talk about each of the pets, where they came from and how I picked their name, and share a little bit of a story about them when I picked them up. Not everybody has such an extensive story, some have a bigger one than others. So we're going to start here with Kelvin. Kelvin came from Kijiji. He was being rehomed. Kijiji is like Craigslist, online ad service with different categories, and rehoming your pets is one of them. He was online with his brother Hobbs. Hobbs passed away last year due to old age. He was found peacefully in his bed, and Kelvin here is now dealing with arthritis on his own. So anyway, one day I was looking on Kijiji and I saw 2 skinny pigs free to a good home, so I messaged them quite quickly after it had been put up. But unfortunately the lady said, sorry, somebody's already spoken for them. So I did try to say, like, I will give you some money, since she wasn't asking for any, if I was able to get them, and she said no, she was going to honor the first come first serve. So I was disappointed, but I was like, okay. So the next morning I wasn't even thinking about them. Opened my email and had a message from her saying the people never showed up. Do you still want them? And I was like, heck yes. So I was able to get them the next day after that. And when I came and got them, they were downstairs, and she shared that they were for her little kids, but they had got bored of them, so she didn't want them anymore. She was going to get them a puppy instead. They were in the smallest pet store cage ever. There was 2 dome huts and a pellet dish in the center. Literally, the boys could come out of their huts, walk around the food dish, and then go back into their huts. I was actually insanely shocked that they hadn't fought each other, because the space was so tiny. And in their cage there was no pellets and no hay when I came to pick them up. She said she hadn't fed them for the day yet, and this was about 11 a.m. So I don't know what she meant, whether she just filled up their dish with pellets and that was it. So needless to say, I was super glad to get these boys home and to give them a proper sized cage and hay and veggies. And the rest is history. Here's Kelvin, 6.5 years later, almost, still with me. Now Kelvin and Hobbs, both their names come from the comic Kelvin and Hobbs. That was something my sister was really into. It's a little boy with his tiger Hobbs, and they go on adventures. Next we will come over here to Bullseye and Angus. So Bullseye here, he was also on Kijiji. He was formerly a classroom pet, and the teacher that had him decided after not quite a year that she was done having him. So I picked him up one day with my friend. We met the teacher about halfway, and when I first got him I noticed his one eye was super watery and very squinted. So we took him for a vet checkup, and right away my vet noticed that he had what is called entropion. That's where the lower or upper eyelashes curl in and touch their eye. It could cause corneas. Super irritating. So his eye was always watering, sunken in. So my vet was able to do surgery on that. They do a little cut on his lower lash line and then stitch it, take out a little strip of skin and then stitch it together, and that's enough to pull down the lower lid so that his eyelashes weren't curling in. It took about 6 months to see the full results, and it was amazing because now he does not have an irritated eye. Every once in a while that eye does get a touch watery, but it is 100% better than what it was. The next thing that I noticed with Bullseye was he would poop mush. It didn't matter what we did. We tried giving him just a pellet and hay diet, but his poops were always all over the place, just getting all over his feet. So it took a lot of vet trips to try and figure out what was going on with his digestive tract. Since he was a classroom pet, I half wondered if children maybe fed him improper food and that's what disrupted his gut, because he is permanently on something called cisapride that keeps his stomach moving. Without it, he bloats up, backs up, and then will have just poop everywhere. It's such a mess. But on the cisapride twice a day, he is able to have a normal diet and a normal life. Now Bullseye's name comes from Bullseye the horse off of Toy Story. Those movies are one of my favorite things. I just absolutely love toys. Now here is his buddy Angus. Angus we were able to adopt from a really nice family that followed us on Facebook. They had an accidental litter. They had bought 2 female skinny pigs from a breeder. One of them came to them pregnant, which they had no idea. So Angus here needed a home, so they had contacted me to ask if I was still looking for a buddy for Bullseye here. So I adopted Angus. When I was growing up, we lived on a farm, and one of the most beautiful cows are black Angus cows, so when I saw Angus, that name just stuck. Now we're coming over here to Apple Dumpling and Huckleberry Pie. Their names are strawberry shortcake characters. Let's see where Huckle is. Hi, baby. So both of these piggies have come from Piggle's Guinea Pig Rescue, so I don't know a lot about their backstory. Huckle there was born at the rescue. We adopted him at 4 weeks old. His mom had come from a hoarding situation. And Apple Dumpling here, she was probably an owner surrender that was given to the shelter that then gives pigs to Piggle's Rescue. These two are super cuties. Now coming over here we have Nanuk and Reese. Nanuk is the white piggy with the black and kind of cream colored face. She is from Piggle's Rescue as well. Her story is quite sad. Somebody had found her outside on a cold day inside of a shoebox. She was with another piggy, but sadly that other piggy did not make it. The kind people gave her to the animal shelter, and then she was given to Piggles, and then I was able to adopt her. And then her buddy Reese there was from an accidental litter on Kijiji. I was looking for a small baby to go with Nanuk, so I adopted Reese to go with her. Nanuk's name is an Inuit name for polar bear. Just when I saw her big, fluffy, and white, that's what I thought of. And then Reese here, as you can tell, she's a gorgeous chocolate and orange color. She just reminds me of a peanut butter cup. My sister and I went to pick up Reese together, and as soon as my sister saw her, she was like, "She looks like peanut butter." And I was like, "Yes, she does." So Reese it is. Now over here is Butter Pecan. And then there's Littlefoot. Littlefoot was a piggy from Kijiji. He was from a really nice family that just felt like they couldn't give him enough time or attention and wanted him to have a friend. So we adopted Littlefoot from a very nice family, and he was kind of piggy trained to us. A couple people drove down to get him to me because he was quite far away from me. Now Littlefoot's name comes from the land before time. Littlefoot is the main character, the long neck as they call him. And his lady friend there is Butter Pecan. She is also from Piggle's Rescue, so she was probably an owner surrender. These two are as sweet as can be. I hit the jackpot with Pecan. She is just a lovely, lovely girl. And I remember when I went to go pick her up, I thought she was just a white pig with maybe a touch of gray. And when I saw her in person, I was just like, oh, she is so gorgeous with that little cream color on her. And I thought of Butter Pecan ice cream. Yes. She's just so cute. So her name is a dessert name. Okay, so our next ladies over here are Nimo and that's Rum Raisin. Nanaimo was from Kijiji. She was from a home where the people were going to go back living in Europe, so they could not take her with them. It was really hard to get Nanaimo because the gentleman that I was speaking with took a long time to reply, so I wasn't sure if other people had got her because she was up for free. So I did all I could to send pictures of my cages, talk about how I look after my pigs because I really wanted to get her. And it ended up working out. He was really nice. He dropped her off to my sister, and then my sister brought her further down to me. Nanaimo, when we took her for a vet checkup, found out she has a heart murmur. When I first got her, she was really light. I know he didn't feed her pellets, but he did feed her veggies and hay. Super light for an adult pig. So now that she's been here and has some pellets, she has gained a very healthy amount of weight and is doing well. The heart murmur is something we're going to have to pay attention to though. I know other people have pigs with heart murmurs and a rabbit with a heart murmur who are all doing well. Nanaimo's name is from the dessert bar, Nanaimo. I think Nanaimo is a city in BC where those dessert bars probably came from. They're something really popular in Canada, so other people don't really know about them. But if you Google Nanaimo bar, you will see. They are something my mom always used to make, and I think they're delicious. So then there's her buddy, Little Rum Raisin. So Rum Raisin, her name comes from an ice cream flavor as well. When I was younger, as about 15, I worked at a ice cream parlor. So that's where butter pecan and rum raisin came from. Just delicious ice cream flavors. Raisin only has one eye. She came from the back room of a pet store through my vet office. So my vet office looks after the pigs at this one pet store. Well, all the pets at the one pet store, and she came through to them, and they were saying how they're not going to be able to sell her because of her eye injury. They didn't know what happened to her eye, but one was missing. So my vet had contacted me and said, "Are you looking for another piggy by any chance? If you'll take her, we'll offer our time and resources for free to fix her eye." So they did that because I said, yes, I need a little friend for Nanaimo here. So she had whatever was left of her eye inside taken out, flushed out, and stitched closed so that she wouldn't get an infection. And then I was able to adopt her. She was just tiny, probably like 4 to 5 weeks old when I got her. Terrified when I picked her up after her procedure. So it was awesome that I already had Nanaimo here because both of them needed each other. I have a video, if you haven't seen it, where I put them together the first night Raisin was home. Nanaimo went absolutely crazy with joy to have her, and it was the only thing that made Raisin come out of her shell and start eating and drinking. After her procedure, she wasn't eating or drinking at the vet. She was so scared. So those two ladies really hit it off and are so special. Now here we have Seymour. Seymour came from a friend of a friend type of situation. He was a smaller child's pet, and he was an unneutered boy, so as you can imagine, he had quite the sassy personality, well, extra sassy. I had the chance when he was 6 months old to babysit him. They had gone camping, so that was the first time I had met Seymour. And then it was about a year after that that I was able to keep him for a permanent pet. Took him to get neutered and had to work on his socialization and taming a lot. So Seymour actually came with his name, and it's the only pet that I just didn't change it. For whatever reason, it suited him. I call him Bun Bun the most, and that's what he will come to. Doesn't matter where he is in the room. If I say Bun Bun, he comes flying out to see ya. How cute is that? Cleaning up. Okay, so if you have any questions about anybody, just leave me a comment below. Bye, guys.